Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Today, we're going to be exploring Cardano. You guys will know that yesterday we gave a video that was purely price orientated. We were looking at some technical analysis for Cardano, and essentially it said, just to summarize that video, that we're expecting more upside. You know, we have a target at around about 61 cents, and that we'd essentially said that we thought 24 cents was the low for Cardano, and actually you are likely not going to revisit those lows anytime soon. So we did cover the price in yesterday's video, and actually in yesterday's video we referenced a pretty sensational video from Charles Hoskinson where he's looking, and the first part of the video is really giving an update on Cardano and all the amazing things that are taking place. Now, I've just finished filming a interview with Sebastian from DC Spark. And honestly, I've never been more excited to be a Cardano holder and somebody who's interested and invested in this blockchain than I am right now. Cardano has always had a peer review model where they've academically done things before shipping it. And actually, we've seen that hold them back in certain areas, but we've seen it become the right approach given what's taken place over the past couple of years with DeFi and other layer ones, with hacks, outages, all this kind of stuff. But actually, all that work that was put in previously is coming to a head now. And I've been on this kind of crusade, I guess, to really kind of put the idea into people's head about what a layer 2 and sidechain ecosystem looks like for Cardano. It supercharges the layer 1, and it's very, very exciting, all the things that are coming out. If you look at Hydra is a layer 2 solution for scalability. So this is a layer 2 that tackles the underlying issue for Cardano of scalability. You also have, I recently again spoke with Sebastian from Milkamida, EVM on Cardano now. So developability is being improved by this sidechain ecosystem. You've got all sorts of things coming like Mithril, like Marlow, Midnight. It's all coming this year, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of it is already on mainnet. We've already seen the likes of Hydra and a number of other things. So it is an extremely exciting time to be a Cardano holder and invested and interested in the Cardano space. And what I want to do in this video is just talk about a few things that Charles mentioned from his not most recent, but second most recent update, and just how much of a big deal this is. We can also look at some sort of relative news, like the fact that Lace is now officially on mainnet. You can use it. I've had a lot of good reports about it. And ultimately, Lace is a big deal, not just for Cardano, but crypto at large. In my opinion, if crypto is to win and gain mass adoption, it needs to be mass able to use, if that makes sense. So in the same way we use a browser and we can get everything from it, you need to have something similar that exists in the Web3 space to the Web2. And actually Lace potentially is that, and it's going to continue to improve. It's got all these interesting things. It's looking like we're going to implement Mithril onto it. We also had some announcement from Meld. Now, this was interesting. I think Meld have always maybe wanted to go and have their own layer 1, but people were pretty upset about this. You've got to remember that actually this could bring exposure to Cardano, and a broader audience and potentially liquidity. However, they're still looking to maintain their roots with Cardano. Some people disappointed by this, but there's lots and lots going on. If we look at DeFi Llama, we're at all-time highs for Cardano and continue to climb. And we think the price is actually going to do very well. Bit of chop today, guys. Just ignore it. We've set out a broader plan. We've looked at Bitcoin and everything in between. But let's play the first clip, guys, and then let's talk about it. I just, honestly, very, very excited to be a Cardano holder right now. I'm watching the puzzle get put together with what's taking place, and it's very exciting and essentially could... Everything that's happening is there to make Cardano a better blockchain, supercharge it, if you will.
But it's not anything really that new. In 2021, we wrote a blog post on the IO blog about tiered pricing, and there was kind of an implicit conversation, somewhat explicit in certain areas, about congestion control. So in general, congestion control with a cryptocurrency, you have some resource that allows you to prioritize a transaction or a script over another transaction or a script. So you have a finite resource, which is the block size, and then you have potentially larger than finite resource, the pending transaction, and you have to basically decide who gets priority. Now, there's a variety of off-chain and on-chain things that you can do for this. So one of the things you can do off-chain is modify the stake pool software to actually have tiered pricing as defined in the 2021 blog post, and that would not require protocol change.
So this is something that was thought about in 2021, and for a reason, because now we see the demand for this. If you have a block that can only process, let's say 50 transactions and it's every 20 seconds or whatever, if you have a higher demand than what that block can process, how do you work out what's more needed or what's more vital to be processed and what's not? Now, I think this is a good sign because these are all issues that Cardano has solved. They put in the work before actually launching it, and this is why we've seen it be such a massive success thus far. And that was just a little clip on transactions and essentially how we're going to tier them, which I think is very bullish.
And that's basically how do we construct some form of a finality gadget on Cardano. Currently, it's in scope for the use in sidechain transactions because it gives them fast finality. But you potentially could imagine a world where you use this for fast finality transactions as well on the main chain. So there's a lot of that, and they're all interconnected to each other, throttling through rolling average, using proofs, coinage as a throttling mechanism, fee markets as a throttling mechanism, tiered fees as a throttling mechanism, and off-chain routing, and then also custom software on the stake pool level. So we're getting to a point where adoption is sufficient that it does warrant a nice conversation between the many different actors in the Cardano ecosystem, from people doing NFT drops to people doing DeFi applications to people just using Cardano for things like spending, so for payments, to really have a clear conversation about how do you get all that stuff packed into the bin.
Yeah, I mean, this is just interesting. This is what I mean about everything's coming together right now. How do we get it packed into the bin? How are they going to bring all this under one easy to use wallet like Lace or something like that, where you have these scalability layers to deal with payments or whatever, and then you have things that help process with smart contracts? How does this all become in the background so that what the user is using, even though they don't know there's this supercharged layer 2 sidechain ecosystem that Cardano is utilizing, how do they just interact at a one-stop shop? It's fascinating what's going on. Honestly, I've been watching and following Cardano for a long time. Like, I've been in the crypto space for a long time. It's all coming to ahead with what they're doing. The pieces of the puzzle are being laid down, and we're starting to see the real picture.
True. But really, it is starting to heat up, and everybody in the industry is starting to feel it in their own ways. And we do need to take some time to really think through an industry-wide strategy. And unfortunately, the demons of the best way to put it, the polarization and tribalism and fragmentation that's caused by our economic differences has resulted in it being very difficult to work with other members in the industry. Some we do work very well with, like we have great.
So just talking about things heating up, one thing I love about Charles Hoskinson is just how much he's doing in the sort of regulatory space. He's really trying to push for fair regulations. He says it's unconstitutional what they're doing with crypto. And ultimately, I think that's a very rewarding and winning feature that he has. So that's really all I've got for you guys. It is super interesting. As all of this evolves, we'll be sure to keep you up to date with it on the channel. If you guys want to support the channel and you've got Cardano, do consider delegating to our Cardano stake pool. All in is the ticker. We are bringing a Discord next week that you may want to jump in, and there are going to be some benefits to being a delegator in the all-in stake pool. And on that note, a like and a comment is always appreciated. If you have enjoyed this content, please do share it around, but we will definitely keep you up to date on everything Cardano on this channel. It's a blockchain favorite of ours. And ultimately, we see a very bright future for it as we see this layer 2 sidechain ecosystem evolve and really supercharge the underlying layer 1. All I've got for you in this video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it. As a comment, see you in the next.